Wanna play?
Wanna play? Wanna play? Wanna play? Wanna play?
Wanna play?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Wanna Play. My name is James McKenna, and today we're going to be re-ranking the Halloween franchise. Of course, there's a new movie out, Halloween Kills, the sequel to Halloween 2018, and because of that, we're going to re-rank the entire series, including Halloween Kills. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So coming in last place is still Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This movie is just so stupid. There's so much wrong with this movie. In fact, this is probably the movie that I've watched with the most flaws in it. Michael Myers' mask looks terrible. Tina is a terrible character. They kill off Rachel in a stupid way. Jamie is a mute. Nobody ever talks about this, but when Michael Myers is floating down the river, which is also, you know, really stupid and goofy, he goes into the little hermit guy's little pirate cove that he's going on there, passes out, and then for a year straight he's just out cold without eating, drinking, anything, just out cold, and then he wakes up a year later. So we're supposed to believe that this guy just protected him for a full year. They ruin everything good about Halloween 4, and it's such an embarrassment of a movie. It is so bad. The perfect example of somebody making a hot sequel really good like Halloween 4 and then immediately trying to cash in on that success without actually, you know, thinking before they release the movie. So in last place for me is going to be Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Next up at number 11 is going to be Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection is just so out of place in the series because it feels like a parody of itself. It feels like the scary movie to the original Halloween Scream. It's just a parody of itself to the point where it's just ridiculous. I mean, you got the scene where Busta Rhymes just is yelling at Michael Myers. He's like, "You need to get the hell out of here." And Michael Myers just walks away instead of just grabbing him by the throat and like impaling him on the wall or something. It's completely ridiculous. There are some good moments. I don't actually hate Busta Rhymes' character, and there are some funny scenes, and I think Michael Myers isn't the worst in the series. Brad Laree plays him in this entry, and he's not the worst. It's just this movie has so many flaws, not as much as Part 5, but so many flaws to where they make a joke out of Michael Myers and act like it's just another entry in the series, and like people aren't gonna think of it as like a spoof of the original Halloween or the original stretch of Halloween movies. So at number 11 for me is gonna be Halloween Resurrection. At number 10 is going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween, the remake from 2007. I don't hate this one as much as other people do. I don't think that the opening bit of Michael Myers as a kid is as bad as a lot of people do, although I still do agree that it is kind of a rough ride to get through. But I do like the bits of Michael Myers in the hospital. I think that there are some really cool moments. I think that there's some brutal kills. Dr. Loomis is pretty cool, and hey, Sheriff Brackett is played by Brad Dourif himself, freaking Chucky. This movie has a really solid cast of so many horror icons. It's just a weird way that the story is kind of told. You know, they have like Laurie Strode as a baby, but then you don't actually introduce Laurie Strode, the final girl, as an adult until like an hour into the movie. And then after that happens, it's basically just a carbon copy of the original, just with a bigger and badder version of Michael. So, for all those reasons, this movie is okay, but it's not the best, and it comes in at number 10. At number 9 is going to be Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. This movie, again, it's okay, it's pretty good, it just has so many flaws that brings it down to the point of where it's just like, it's ridiculous. But there are lots of very good things in this movie. First of all, I think that it's probably got the best Michael Myers of that original stretch of continuity besides Nick Castle. George P. Wilbur kills it here. He's actually really menacing. The mask looks pretty cool, and I think that it probably has the best atmosphere of any other movie in the series. I mean, just the atmosphere that we get of the Midwest autumn Illinois feel really is only it's only comparable to Halloween 4. Like, those are Halloween 4 and Halloween 6 are just like on another level when it comes to that Halloween atmosphere. But just there's so many flaws. Just Michael Myers being explained that he has his powers because he's like in a cult. What? And then like he has a kid with his niece and then kills his niece, who's Jamie Lloyd, some people's favorite character in the series, Jamie Lloyd. They recast her and then just kill her after Michael. It's just so odd, to where there are some very, very positive things to say about this movie, but it's also just, it falls apart the second you start to dissect it. It's such a weird entry in the series, and for me it comes in at number 9. At number 8, and this is one of the bigger changes on this list, number 8 is going to be Halloween H2O. Halloween H2O, I still do think, probably has either the coolest or the second coolest ending stretch in the entire franchise, with Laurie grabbing that axe, hunting Michael Myers, chopping his head off. That moment where she chopped his head off was perfect. Like, that is the perfect ending to a Halloween movie. It's just the rest that's a little bit weird. None of the characters are overly memorable. Nothing really stands out about them, aside, of course, from Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie, but like, we don't really get any other returning characters to really latch onto, and it also just has a little bit too much of that Scream feel. It feels more like Scream than Halloween. It's odd having it set like in a school, and I do like what they were kind of going for with it, to the theme of like, no matter how much Laurie runs, she can't escape that evil. Michael Myers somehow hijacks a car from Illinois and drives himself to California and just knows where she's at. It's a little bit odd. The movie, it does have a lot of flaws. I don't think the score is really that great, but it's just that ending stretch that puts it at least higher than some of those other movies, and of course, having Jamie Lee Curtis in it. So at number 8 for me is going to be Halloween H2O. At number 7 is going to be Halloween 2. Halloween 2 is, again, it's like Halloween H2O. The ending is amazing with Dr. Loomis, "It is time," Michael, bang, exploding the entire freaking room in the hospital. I love it, of course, when Laurie shoots Michael Myers in the face and he starts bleeding out his eyes. That's just so awesome. It's such an awesome shot. And of course, Michael Myers walking out of the flames, going after Laurie, and then just collapsing, and that's how the movie ends. It is so good, that ending. But the rest of it, much like H2O, is just odd. There are more moments than there are in H2O, and I forgot to talk about this in H2O, but they don't actually explain, you know, how did Michael Myers survive blowing up a freaking hospital? Like, that's, like, what? So it doesn't really have that to it. And there are some cool moments. I think that the opening is pretty cool. Michael Myers disappearing, and we get that extension of the ending. Dr. Loomis, "I shot him 6 times! I shot him 6 times!" Some of the kills in here are very, very good. It just gets a little bit too slow at times. Like, there's a bit where the security guard is like walking through like a storage room in the hospital. It feels like it's going on for like 15 minutes before Michael finally comes out and kills him. It gets a little bit slow, but the moments in it that are great are fantastic. Fantastic enough to elevate it to this spot on the list. At number 6, and you were probably wondering why haven't I seen this movie on the list yet? It's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is one of the best directed movies in the entire franchise. It's just directed so good. It looks amazing. It looks just so brutal, and the look just matches the style of the movie so well. I think that the characters are better in this one than they are in Rob Zombie's original movie. Laurie Strode going through this trauma. Danielle Harris playing Annie far excels Nancy Loomis's Annie in the original Halloween, which might be controversial to say, but Danielle Harris kills it in this role. We get more of Brad Dourif in it, which is awesome. And it's funny because Brad Dourif, you know, he's just gone through the events of that first remake, so now he's angry. And whenever you hear Brad Dourif angry in a movie, it's just Chucky. It's funny. It's just Chucky yelling at people. I don't know, it's pretty funny. But as I said, I think it's one of the best directed movies. I think that the ending really holds some emotion when you see Loomis on the ground, Michael on the ground, and Laurie on the ground, and that's it. You know, Sheriff Brackett, hold your fire, but everybody's shooting at him. It's crazy. The ending of that movie gets crazy. The only thing that prevents it from being any higher is just some of the oddities of the film that many people have pointed out before. Like, I don't know what's up with the whole white horse and Michael's mom. I mean, I know that Rob Zombie wants to have Sherry Moon Zombie, his wife, in all of his movies, but you could have came up with like a better way to do it than having Michael's mom and then also Michael as a kid, but not the same actor as Kid Michael in the original remake. I don't know. It's odd, but again, the strengths of this movie, I think, far outweigh the weaknesses, and for me, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 comes in at number 6. At number 5 is going to be Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. As I said when I was talking about Halloween 6, the atmosphere of this movie is just unmatched. It feels like they had to choose something. They were like, what's something from those original movies that we really need to choose and just amp up to make the movie better? And it feels like they chose the atmosphere and they nailed it. The atmosphere of this movie is, honestly, that alone is probably enough to bring it up here at this spot. But also you got those amazing new characters. I think that the new characters in 4 far excel the new characters as something like, you know, H2O with Jamie, played by Danielle Harris. She's awesome. She's one of the coolest kid characters there are. And of course, her foster sister, Rachel, is one of the better final girls we get in the series. And Michael Myers himself is pretty cool. He's not the best Michael Myers, which is probably why this isn't any higher, because Michael Myers, he's not as good as he could be, I feel like, in this movie. The mask obviously isn't the best. Although it has grown on me, the mask still is a little bit odd because, you know, it's obviously not the same mask as in 1 and 2. But as I said, just the atmosphere of this movie alone really makes this movie stand out amongst the series. And for me, it comes in at number 5. At number 4 is going to be Halloween 2018. Now, this probably does benefit from it being the first Halloween movie that I watched in the theaters. It's the first Halloween movie that I watched after, you know, becoming a fan of horror. And also, it's just awesome. It is the perfect way to really make a sequel to that original and also modernize it. And you get a good mixture of it. There's lots of cool moments, suspenseful moments, but also, you know, the score. The score is so good in this. And all the new characters that we get are just so good. Allison is probably the best final girl in this series other than Laurie, and just some of the other new characters, you know, Officer Hawkins or Deputy Hawkins or whatever you want to call him. He's a really cool character, and of course Karen Strode, and some of the returning characters as well. You get Laurie, of course, coming back, and some of the references that they make to that original movie as well, like having Allison's boyfriend, you know, be the son of Lonnie, the kid who was goofing around at the Myers house in the original. There's so many cool references in this to the other movies in the series, and also I think that it has the best Michael Myers there is. James Jude Courtney just wears that mask. He wears it with pride. He knows what he's doing, and he absolutely kills it. Like, you 100% believe that yes, this is the exact same Michael Myers that was captured 40 years ago, coming back, wreaking havoc on Haddonfield. Michael Myers is just so brutal. Some of the kills in here are amazing. They are amazing, the kills. The gore is just phenomenal. It's so good. Really, the reason why it's up here, the moment that I realized how good this movie really is when I sat down to rewatch this with one of my friends who wasn't really huge into Halloween. He'd probably seen the original, but every new scene I looked at him and I was like, you gotta watch this, this scene is classic. There's so many classic scenes in this movie, despite it only being like 3 or 4 years old. It's just so good. It stands out amongst the series so well. It really, really breathed a whole new light into this series, and it's just so good. And in my opinion, it comes in at number 4. At number 3 is Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch. That's right, it's not number 2 anymore. But Halloween 3, Season of the Witch is just flawless. This is the first movie I've talked about that's really just flawless. It knows what it's doing, it knows that it's a silly movie, and it goes all out on the silliness, while also really trying to not take it seriously, but make it creepy. Like, the movie is creepy. It just has such a creepy vibe to it, with one of the best scores there are in the series, and just the whole storyline of it is just so crazy and just whacked out. This guy trying to kill the entire country using these 3 masks. Like, dude's planning to kill the whole country, and how is he gonna do it? With Stonehenge magic. It's so good. Tom Atkins really puts in a great performance in this, and Conal Cochran is one of the most underrated horror villains there is. The cliffhanger ending of the movie is so good as well. It's so classic. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! And yeah, the movie really ends with the potential death of the entire country. It's a crazy movie. It really stands out, not just because it's the only movie with Michael Myers not in it. It just stands out because it's just such a good movie, and in my opinion, it comes in at number 3. At number 2, we've got Halloween Kills. That's right, Halloween Kills, it comes in at number 2, because this is probably, to be honest, my favorite sequel in horror history. I mean, really, the only one that comes close is freaking Son of Frankenstein from 1939. This movie is just, it's so good. It's a movie made for the fans, by the fans, and they absolutely kill it. They bring back all of the old characters. Like, they literally, I don't think they missed a single one of those surviving characters in the original movie. The flashback scenes, everybody's obsessing over right now because they are just so good. Michael Myers looks like that original Michael Myers from the 70s. It looks like a continuation from the 70s, and they didn't mess it up. It doesn't feel like it's overstayed its welcome. It's only there for probably about 10 minutes of screen time, and then they just get out of there before they mess anything up. They didn't do anything goofy or ridiculous of how they captured Michael Myers. I really like it how, you know, they just all have their guns drawn on him, and he's just standing there. Like, anything else would have been probably a little bit weird or something, or maybe it wouldn't have fully lined up with what we already know in the franchise. And other than that, it's just so cool seeing all of these characters come back. And also, to add on to that, it has my favorite line ever. Ever. It's Sheriff Brackett's big line is so good. It feels so earned. It's such a great payoff, and that ending is insane. And so is the opening. Michael butchering the entire fire department and just going on this just killing spree, having all these characters, as I said, coming back. You get Tommy, Lindsay, they even brought back friggin' Marion Chambers and Dr. Loomis. They had Loomis as CGI, and it looked really convincing. It looked like Dr. Loomis. Like Dr. Loomis is just right there. Halloween Kills is so phenomenal. Sure, it's pretty much just fan service, the movie, but it's just so good. The pacing, I do agree with some people, the pacing is a little bit off. It does kind of feel all over the place. to where if you're not a huge fan of the Halloween franchise, you might not exactly know what's going on. And yes, there are some pretty dumb character decisions, but I mean, you know, Lonnie's dumb character decision, you all know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. But I mean, I feel like it's justified because the dude's drunk off his mind. Yes, they do overuse the line "Evil dies tonight" as well. But those are really the only complaints that I have. I mean, the opening is awesome. The opening credits are great. Maybe not as good as the opening credits in 2018, but those are great as well. The mask, of course, is great. James Jude Courtney is great. The directing, the acting, everything about this movie is great. And for me, it comes in at number 2. But coming in at number 1 for me is gonna be the original Halloween. I mean, you all knew that Halloween was gonna be number 1 for me. It's number 1 for everybody. I mean, what is there to say that hasn't been said already? Halloween, it's the movie that got me into horror. You know, Michael Myers, he's just such a cool killer. Just the mystique around him having no motive, which is awesome that they continued that in this stretch of the timeline that we got in 2018 and now Kills. He has no motive. He kills for the sake of killing. John Carpenter said, you know, Michael Myers is like the wind. He doesn't have consciousness. He just is. That's really all there is to the character. The mask is so iconic. Just this blank slate, just a white mask and just a trucker outfit. I love it how it's not like overly like crazy like some of those 80s slashers go for. It's really like a slow burn movie. It's not overly violent. It's not overly insane. It's just Michael Myers slowly going around, slowly picking off Laurie Strode's friends until the ending stretch. It's such a classic movie. It's the slasher movie that launched slashers into the mainstream. It is so perfect, and for me, it comes in at number 1. So thank you for watching my re-ranking of the Halloween franchise. Let me know your thoughts and your ranking in the comments down below, and your thoughts on the brand new movie Halloween Kills. If you want to see my full review, my full snap judgment review of Halloween Kills, I just did it on my channel 2 days ago. All you gotta do is probably just click on my channel and it'll just be right there. Halloween Kills, the best horror sequel since Son of Frankenstein. That's what I called the video because really it is. But Halloween is just, probably with this new movie Halloween Kills, probably my favorite franchise in horror. It is so good. All of these movies, really, even the ones that suck, have stuff that make them stand out, have moments. Really, Halloween 5 is the only one where there isn't a single moment in there to where it's like, yeah, that's really good. And Halloween 5 is the only one. This is a series that I've always really enjoyed. It's the first one that I really got into. As I said, Halloween was the first horror movie that actually like got me into the genre. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. You can subscribe to this channel if you would like to. You don't have to though, and you can also follow me on TikTok at This Is Our Design and on Instagram at James from Wanna Play. You don't have to though, but thank you for watching this video. Goodbye and good night.